Wait.
This one?
Что, он очень отваливает,
да.
ты плюсанула?
Нет, я привыкла на лоб.
Там сейчас, если тот уберет, у нас будет минус 3, да?
Yeah. Or just that. Give them that double, and then we draw for 2. Don't mind that.
Okay, go for that. Are you going out turns?
Yeah.
Что у тебя стоит двойной? Что ты?
Я не знаю, как кидать этот двойной.
Я тебе сказала,
На край, да?
отваливай.
Or do you like the draw?
Зачем? На этот край камня.
Just same shot, really. Same shot.
Yeah, could even have a little less weight, I think, because you don't want to be back.
Yeah, okay.
Nice
Yeah.
weight.
Hard line. Really hard line.
Он так и кидает.
Что?
Он так и кидает.
Ну, сейчас закроется на свете.
Oh.
Дабл. Желательно еще убрать вот этот вот наш.
What'd you get?
16.
It's probably a good weight.
Вот этот лучше, если что. Даже если
Сильно?
один.
Сильно? Аж каким? Я 8 не кидаю. 60, 50. Это средний.
Yeah. Well, it was a bit tight. I was scared to push it back again. It was like a edge of, just like edge of four. Bad shit.
Свип. И до конца очень, да. Жестче. Вау. Отваливает.
Yeah.
Control?
Настя, ну я не знаю
Yeah,
реально
follow
как.
it, right? And lower.
Yeah.
Он только свалил у меня.
Just
Всё.
control edge of stone. You want ice?
No.
Right.
I just thought it was a lot closer to that yellow. I've got loads of room.
Yeah, you go. 40?
Yeah.
Wait there.
Nope. Outside.
One yellow.
Yeah.
I think I need a bit less there. I think I just needed a bit less.
Yeah.
And hello, welcome, curling, the curling tour event, Dutch Masters Zoetermeer. Sorry for the late start on this game, a little bit of technical difficulty connecting. We are joining on the second end live. Here with me for this game is Judith McCleary, past Scottish champion. Unfortunately came second in the Scottish Championship this year. We'll be commentating this game together, and we're going to be focusing on the game against Gina Aitken and partner Bryzgalova-Krushelnitsky from Scotland, Scottish champions, and Alexander and Anastasia, first names, from Russia. This is the current reigning world champion. Still haven't qualified for the Worlds. That's their aim and their goal. They're here getting excellent practice leading up to that.
Only her weight.
Coming into the second end.
Line's good.
First on the board is
Bryzgalova
scoring one.
scored one there in the first end.
Wait only.
So
Wait only.
it's Gina just playing the first stone of the second end here. Just trying to freeze onto the blue at the back of the button there.
And this is our fifth draw today.
What did you get for that?
Sorry, sixth draw of the day.
Already.
Started bright and early at 8 o'clock this morning, so a few games in the go. All the teams have been on the ice prior to this draw, so should have a little more feel on the ice. Should have a little more competitive, a little more tactics will be playing more, a little more finesse shots. They've all got some feel on the ice and the speed out here. So we're looking forward to a really great game in this matchup.
Нет, ничего. Ждать, это отвалило, все. Вали. Свип.
Есть вверх!
Вали! До конца вали, сразу желтый взять, сразу.
One of the rule changes in mixed doubles last year was that you didn't need to have one of your team members up at the far end holding the brush. So I think you'll see both teams here have opted most of the time not to have one of the players up holding the brush. You see here that Bruce and Gina, Bruce about to play this stone and Gina up at the far end beside him, ready to sweep. Bruce will maybe have a look at the line himself, takes his own ice. You can see Bruce is there to give a hand and help sweep here, so we've got two sweepers, more similar to a standard format of game.
You see teams changing a little bit, changing that up a little bit when it's different types of shots, when they're playing a little more finesse, a few more rocks in the house, having to make sure they get those lines just right.
Yeah, so, for sure. I think a lot of the shots, particularly at the start of an end, it's quite often drawing in, and teams generally get to know where they're taking that ice. And then if it's a more technical shot, quite often we'll see teams discussing do they want somebody up at the far end holding the brush or not.
And that doesn't have to happen the whole game. You can switch and change whenever you like. You can choose that shot by shot.
Choose. So that yellow's in a nice position there with the blue backing.
It's Anastasia.
69. Что это?
This team was a bit of a surprise for Russia last year. Not one of the top funded teams came through the Russian Championships, won the challenge, and represented Russia at the World Mixed Doubles.
They played great. They've had a really good season. Not only did they win the World Mixed Doubles last year, but they also went on and were both in the team that won the World Mixed Championships as well earlier on this season. So
currently in the Curling's Champion Tour, there are 16 events this year on the Champions Tour. This is event number 9 this season, so lots of these teams have had some good games. They've seen each other a lot. Russia is currently sitting at number 1 on the tour, and Bruce and Gina from Scotland are sitting number 2. So we're seeing number 1 and 2 on the Scottish tour playing here in this draw tonight.
Yeah, and I think even Bruce and Gina are playing a lot more mixed doubles this year. I think a lot of the teams, there's a lot more events this year, and with the Olympics fast approaching and already some qualification points there gained, some teams are playing more just to really get as much game time in as possible.
It's a really nice top shot there by Bruce, just moving that back, getting control. Got the top of the tee line. That's really important. Mixed doubles
I wasn't sure with that.
don't have as many rocks to play with.
It was just like a whirl, and then a whirl, and then a wow.
Желательно свой сейчас оставить над ним.
I never heard the first one.
You can hear Bruce and Gina just talking about communication there on the ice. I was playing there earlier, and it's quite difficult actually to hear, even with it only being 3 sheets. It's can be really quite loud out there with 3 lots playing. So lots of stones in there, in that 4-foot area.
It's one of the reasons you often see in mixed doubles, the score lines look quite high. There's high scoreboards. They play with a lot of rocks in play and keeps it exciting. Didn't quite get the angle there, right?
Yeah. Even this is
Steal it.
Is it?
still me.
Yeah.
So Bruce and Gina just double checking there, having a quick check to see how many shots they've got left at this end.
It is a little different in mixed doubles. The first thrower throws the first stone and the last stone, and the second thrower throws the 3 stones in the middle. That can change from end to end, but quite often you see it staying pretty stationary. Do you guys change very often, Jude?
No, we stay really pretty much the same format the whole way through. Lee plays the first stone and the last stone, and I play the middle 3. He generally will call the game, and I think it's generally a little bit easier to call the game if you're playing the
First and last.
the first and last. Gina really sweeping hard here.
Okay, whoa.
I think
Back a little too far. Yellow's now only sitting 1. It's going to be hard to move it out of play for scoring there. Get the angle exactly right.
so many stones there at the back. Just looking at the angles where they can, what they can do.
Don't know much Russian, but I think they're talking about trying to hit them pretty good here. Throwing some weight at this and trying to get rid of a couple of those.
They can both throw quite a lot of weight as well.
They do have a guard up front they have to contend with, so lines and angles and curl is really important here. And our other 2 sheets out here, we've seen got single points on scoreboards on each sheet.
I think
Sorry,
I think it's a
4 on sheet.
4 on sheet A. Here 4. I think that was Team Noreen, and Noreen are leading by 4. Is that right?
I'm thinking
Down by 4. Down by 4. So Nailman and Nailman took 4 in the first.
Nice ground first. That didn't quite work out for Russia there.
We're line 2 right now, I think, yeah. If you're short, you're short. I like that.
So they've elected to they're going to throw Joe a draw in here. Sit for second shot. And put 1 in there. It also takes the opportunity of Russia to move things around. Oh, it's last stone. Sorry. No, it's not. Russia has a hammer here.
Russia has hammer.
So looking
this
at who had the hammer for the first end. We're on the second end already.
Yeah.
Thank you, Christian.
19 for your last one.
Pointing on your nice live stream, you have a nice little cheat sheet in front of you. I just need to look at that.
Goal. Close. Close. Where is it?
Back 4.
No. Let it swing. Let it swing.
Really good, great communication about the line, watching the line, calling the line on, and putting it exactly where it needed to be.
And I guess Bruce and Gina's strategy here at this end would really be to try and close down the scoring area And by putting so many stones into that centre area, that's really stopping the Russians there from getting so many shots in there and trying to prevent them from scoring a big end. Now, it looks from here like yellow's line 2.
Yeah, clearly there.
Yeah. 25.
Our neighbour Alison here is really handy. She's got some experience in commentating, so she'll be with me here tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. She's practicing already to point to where we need to be looking. Cheat sheets in front of us, get focused on looking on the ice, and we shouldn't just be looking at the screen. Definitely yellow sitting too.
Yep.
This is the last stone from this end.
Насколько сильно там отваливает?
I mean, it's when you're back onto 1, but if it goes that way after hitting 1, then I'm not sure.
Here we go. It's not shy away, this one.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
But
Well, he was managed to
still
move one out.
leaves one yellow, so a little steal there for Mouat and Aitken to go 2-0 ahead.
Excellent. So great game. Lots of rocks in play, stones in play. It's good shooting. If you're just joining us on our broadcast here, you're watching the Dutch Masters Mixed Doubles Curling Championships here in Curlingbaan Zoetermeer. You can find us on Facebook, curlingmasters.nl on the website. And follow live scoring here on the stream. You have the current game is Bryzgalova-Krushelnitsky from Russia versus Aitken-Mouat from Scotland. On 2 more games on the go on sheets A and C. You can find those and follow live scoring on the website. Tune in and check it out.
So again, Bruce and Gina from Scotland are 2-0 up in this game. Gina playing the first stone of this end.
Outside yet?
Trying to come around.
On the outside yet?
Ideally, sort of top 4, top of the button. Even right onto the freeze would be good. Looks to be a little bit short of weight.
A little bit side to side seems to be a little different. Some of the players are saying one side of the sheet is a little bit faster than the other side of the sheet so far in the game. So
Okay. Here's Alexander. His jacket off now, so he's obviously ready to sweep hard.
Wow, линия.
I don't know much Russian, but I think wo means no. Wo linia, no for line maybe?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
That's a nice shot in there.
yeah, stays on top of the tee line, top of the button.
Nice.
It's really nice execution.
And mixed doubles, there's so much, is very much weight dependent. Most of the shots are very much either a draw or a little bump or a little tap back. So really nice if you like playing an aggressive game, then mixed doubles is probably one for you.
Go back 8.
It's a little bit different with the mixed doubles rules. You cannot hit stones out. Also stones in play. In the regular curling game, you have a free guard zone. With mixed doubles, you cannot hit stones out of play until the 4th stone
Yes.
is being delivered. So it creates an opportunity for a little more strategy, a little more thinking, a little more finesse shots.
Also makes it very hard to defend if you're up and scoring the game. You'll see in a standard game if teams are 3 or 4 up, then they're trying to play a simple tactics and remove stones from play, but not quite so straightforward in mixed doubles with the rules.
Backline. Я выезжал на 5.
It's a bit positive back, so.
So out here on the ice right now, each sheet has a world medalist. We have on sheet C, Ziga and versus Hungary, Flanchy and Kiss, two-time world champions. And here over on sheet A, we have Noreen and Ming, 2 or 3-time world silver medalists.
Yeah, definitely for sure. I think 3, but I may be wrong. And Per also has a silver medal from coaching a Swedish team as well.
So lots of experience out here.
And we talked earlier about sheet A with Mark and Marianne Neeleman from the Netherlands taking a 4 in the first end, and that's Per and Camilla Noreen from Sweden have bounced straight back, taking a 4 in the second end to level the game.
The out turn?
There.
The out turn?
Yeah, because they're from white.
So you must be delighted to have such a strong field of teams in Netherlands for this competition.
It's really exciting. Hopefully we'll get some more fans down this week and actually, you know, see what top curling is. Having the men's team qualify for the Worlds, this is an exciting level that they're also playing. So nice to see some of that in our own neighborhood.
Absolutely. And this is just the second year of your event here, and really, really strong teams, as we said. World champions.
It's kind of good timing. A lot of them start playing their playoffs here shortly after this event. So great atmosphere here at the club. Great organization by Carlo Glasbergen. He's the chairman of the event. Plays hard for himself all season and got a free weekend. He puts it into organizing this event. So thanks very much, Carlo, for all your hard work and dedication to help grow curling internationally.
It's great if players also who are involved with doing a little bit of organisation or involved in events then probably appreciate it a little bit more when they go to other events as well. So it's great to see Carlo doing that. And I don't know what age Carlo is, but he's still pretty young for chairing an event.
You've been around him for a whole lot of years. Carlo's now 26.
26.
Still young.
Oh.
Yeah. Working this really hard.
Lots of communication between Anastasia and Alex.
Communication is really a vital part of the game. And no matter what curling discipline you're playing, it is teamwork and communication is essential. You don't make those finesse shots if you're not communicating back and forth, and it's definitely a two-way stream.
Sometimes selecting the shots in mixed doubles can be a little bit trickier. In a team of 4, at least there's 4 opinions sometimes when it's selecting a shot in mixed doubles, and one person thinks they should play one shot and the other one thinks they should play the other. Can be a little bit trickier.
Here we have Bryzgalova-Krushelnitsky. Bruce is also competing with his men's team at University Games. Gina with the girls team. So these guys have really busy programs. They're pretty much full-time curling now. A little bit of study on the side, I think.
They've really increased the amount of mixed doubles they're playing this year. Playing a lot of events. And as you said earlier already, I think these 2 teams that we're watching in our feature game are sitting first and second in the CCT standings for mixed doubles.
This is a big season. This is last season they qualified for the Worlds, and the only place to qualify for Olympic points. This is now an Olympic discipline. The only place to qualify for Olympic points, same as men's and women's, is by participating at World Championships. Top 12 teams get points. First place gets 14. Second place is 12, and then it goes 10, 9, 8, and so on. Many of the teams here this weekend have Olympic points, and they're all going to be vying to participate at the Worlds and qualify for more points and get those small few 8 spots. Only 8 teams qualify for the Olympics in Pyeongchang, and it's a debut event.
And of course it doesn't mean, despite, here's a lovely shot coming in here. Nice shot.
Что-то я ничего не понял. Говорю, много веса.
Despite Alex and Anastasia being current world champions, that doesn't guarantee that they go back to the Worlds, of course, for representing Russia this year. They still have to qualify, win their national championship, and then win their playoff to represent Russia at the Worlds. And there's a number of strong teams in Russia at mixed doubles, so they have to just keep putting the work in and keep getting stronger. So Gina facing a few blues in the house here just now. And of course with Russia having last stone, I don't think Bruce and Gina will be liking seeing too many of those blues there.
We're wanting to move a couple and getting a little nice roll in behind is probably the objective. Gina represented Scotland also in the junior Worlds a couple times. Bruce himself is junior world champion.
Yeah. Bruce has also had a really good season.
Good effort.
This time again?
Yeah.
Yeah, we lost him last weekend in Perth.
He's been contending really well in the men's as well.
Rolled a little out in the open there. They're going to try and just nail that and hit and stay and score 3.
Go for 2.
So it'll come back for Russia. Of course, they still have to make the shot. These guys have pretty good technical skills. Lots of consistency in their shot making. They know each other very well.
Воу. Внимание, свип. И до конца свип. Жестче! Да. Воу.
That's a nice shot there from Alex.
Yeah, makes no mistake.
To take 3 and go 1 ahead in the game. Of course, Bruce and Gina could potentially opt to use their power play as they have choice with them assuming they're going to pick hammer in this end. But the likelihood is that with the scoreline being close, I would suspect that Bruce and Gina would hang on to that for just now.
And what is the power play, Jude?
So the power play is, instead of placing the stones in the centre, on the centre line and at the back, there are also some little dots. You might be able to see them on your screen, each to the side. And you can have a corner guard and your own shot. The stone in the house would be just at the top of the tee line, bisecting the 8 and 12 foot. It just mixes it up a little bit. Yep, there we go. Thank you. Those little dots there. So there are actually with those spots before the game, there are potentially 6 different spots you can place the stone on the centre line. And you get told at the start of the game which spot is going to be used for the entire game. So here we have Alexander playing the first shot of this end, just trying to freeze onto that yellow. Pretty nice, just a wee bump. Got to be very careful, you're not allowed to remove the yellow stone from play here.
You can tap them around, of course.
You can bump them,
just not
move it.
If it gets moved from play, then it's placed back and the shooting stone is removed. Same as a free guard zone.
Normal. Yep. Yep, line. Oh, line's good. Line's good.
Bruce being a skip in men's, he doesn't have to sweep so often. This is good exercise for him. His team probably loves it when he goes to play mixed doubles.
Can't go yet.
Outside. Just to it.
Curl.
Bruce and Gina just trying to get to the inside of the blue. Just didn't quite finish at the end. But still lying in shot position with the blues backing. So not a bad result.
Trying to get the rock to listen as well. I think it listens as well as the partner, but communication is a very important lesson in the game. Curlers do talk to curling stones.
Yeah. a lot.
Что-то очень медленно, по-моему. 17.
Really great focus.
Here we have lots of communication again.
Давай, 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 разгоняй.
Seems looking a little bit light here. Anastasia coming up to help.
17.
Really great sweeping.
Нереально.
Don't really want to sit here because he just slashes it.
Я случайно с другим коленкой.
So you can't curl to keep it.
Bruce and Jean are discussing whereabouts the best spot is to place this rock,
Let's try and come here.
what the consequences are for your opponent. So, really good conversation.
The difficulty in this situation here is Bruce and Gina are really going to be looking to try and score more than one. And the blue, it's probably going to take them a couple of shots to get rid of the blue that's just sitting at the back of the 1 foot. That's really why they were looking to try and get the inside of the blue with their last shot. So they're constantly looking to how can we score 2 or more here.
Сейчас это его еще снесло, он еще чуть-чуть.
Sequence nice.
Line's good. Line's great. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Where are you?
7 each. 7 each. The back one.
Excellent communication.
Gina shouting 7-8.
Line only.
7
whoa.
being T-line, 8 just back of the T-line. So she's absolutely right there. Just caught the yellow stone.
Sorry.
Обязательно контакт. От -2 уйти, чтобы.
And Alexander was pointing to the middle of the 2 yellows, so really looking for a draw to the
You didn't need to.
nose of them.
Sorry, don't worry about it.
С 5.
4.
I would think they're probably wanting to just tap one of each other's back a little bit, try and get some potentially sit on top of it. They're going to have to move it at some point. Yellow's sitting too.
Yeah.
Ну что там?
Свип, свип, пройти надо, очень свип. Свип, да.
Есть 26-й гард!
Оу.
That one over curled on
Почему
her.
воу? Вот этот открывать камень.
Ну мы и так еле задели.
Ты сейчас ролла 2 туда получишь.
Мы еще бы
У тебя
меньше
будет всё
коснулись, он бы еще меньше бы откатился.
Ты чего?
Что, чего?
Отпустить пораньше?
Ну пораньше я уже отпустила, включить.
For those Russian fans watching and following along, you're getting a little more of this than we are, but they're definitely coming up with a conclusion of what they wanted out of that stone and why maybe it didn't work.
0,7.
So, a bit of a combination between
Потому что сразу сбрасывать.
speed, maybe a little bit lighter than they were hoping for, and just curled off early.
A little bit
Got
less.
it started maybe a little bit.
A bit more.
Use the door open a little bit for Bruce and Gina to come down and close that door up a little bit and
Интересно.
get a little more control. We're going to tap the yellow one back and try and move that
Don't think
blue
it's
one back a
there
little.
I think it's there. Outside, light inside. Let it sit. Whoa.
This is a lovely shot.
Вот они тебе шанс подарили, смотри.
I would like to stay a little bit on the outside of that yellow one, get it back into that blue one, but it's definitely not going anywhere.
Остро?
No.
Ну, пол камня это минимум. Смотри,
So,
чтобы тебя не отвалил в тот
now Russia are going to have to
She moves it, that's great.
try and hit
Не тупее, лучше. Останься
really what they
в
can
середине,
see
когда
Right, sorry.
of the yellow.
Number 7 was the
Сзади
blue
тебе
as
надо
well.
2 выбить.
And try and remove the 2 yellows and they'll leave the one that's just been played there.
Свип.
Ooh. Just caught the top blue.
Чего, издеваешься, что ли? Ё-моё.
Anastasia's not too
Я
happy
вижу,
with that
а
one.
что там не отваливает? У меня ни один не отвалил, ни второй не отвалил.
And there's something, you know, teams when you're working in 4, you can always go to some teammate that's going to kind of give you a pat on the back and help you through that. And Mixed doubles, you don't always have that. You kind of have to turn that around and find that mental stability with each other a little bit faster. Sometimes you find that little bit of space, and you play with your husband, so you probably know that better than most.
I was just thinking, I just love watching team dynamics sometimes in mixed doubles. There are so many teams that are still playing that are either couples or brother and sister or father and daughter.
Yeah, we've got a lot of them here. Bruce and Gina are a little bit of a
Great entertainment.
In that, but they are coached by Gina's dad, so there's a family element in the ice. Yeah. I was talking with them earlier, and David travels a lot with them for their events. They're really focusing on this discipline, working hard at it, very committed.
Yeah, and David's done a lot of mixed doubles coaching for a number of years now as well. He also plays as well.
He played with his younger daughter this year. Yeah. Playoffs, I think.
He made the semi-final of the Scottish Championships with his daughter, although she ended up, Karina couldn't play. She had a sore back, so his wife came in and joined them.
Keep it in the family. Excellent.
Yeah. And this is not looking very easy for Russia here at all.
Got that nice three, and they're going to struggle not to get out of giving another three away here.
Yeah,
giving it right back. Some really great shot making by Bruce in the middle there. Gina.
Alexander's sort of shaking his arm to say, "Oh, what am I going to do
maybe got
here?"
an in off of that blue one on the outside. Come across.
This is almost damage limitation at this point, I think.
That's all they got. Looking at coming off that blue one on the outside, rolling into that pile, and hoping to stay sitting in the forefoot. Moving one, if not two, of those yellow ones off. You got to watch that they don't jam it back onto that blue one and pick that back blue one off. Big shot here.
Maybe go and catch it.
Да. И до конца. Да, да, да.
Oh, just spun back up there.
Made the kickoff, but it just spun right up atop 8. So that'll be a draw for 4, eh?
Yeah.
They got to get it right into the forefoot. It's not an easy draw for 4.
Where do I need to be? Fully 4. More than fully 4.
Just fully 4, yeah. I think they're just outside it.
A little more clarification and communication with Bruce and Gina, talking about it. Where exactly do they want this stone?
You can be.
I can be out with it.
I think I can swing it.
Dirty?
Нет, он так шел, он еще подвалил меня в центр, Саша.
Yeah, we're a bit wide there.
Я, наверное, вижу, куда я делаю.
We're a bit wide there.
Он не отвалил нисколько.
Whoa.
Bruce and Gina have played mixed doubles together for a number of years now. This will be their 4th World Championship that they'll be going to this year.
I think the only one they didn't participate in was you and Lee.
Yep, me and I played 2012 and 2015. Bruce and Gina have played the World Championships in between them since then.
And you two played each other in the final, I believe,
we did,
in Scotland this year?
We did. We didn't have such a great game. They got off to a great start, and we were always fighting to try and get back into it in the final. But we get on really well with each other as teams. It's nice to go around and play a lot of the tour events.
So Gina comes up a little bit short there, so that's a score of 3. They now go up on the scoreboard 5-3. So a little bit of turnaround. See if they can keep the momentum going. Just a little bit of an update over on our other sheets here. we have on sheet A.
What was that last one?
Nadelman, Noreen.
I don't want to tell
Sweden
you.
versus Netherlands.
Yeah.
There was a 4 from Netherlands in the first end.
25 positive, yeah.
Sweden came back with a 4 and stole 2. They're now here in a little bit of a tricky end. Lots of rocks piled up in the tee line here. So
interesting little conversation there, Bruce and Gina. Gina asking for some clarification on the time that she played with her last stone of the 4th end.
Outside.
You may have heard Bruce saying, I don't want to tell you because it might put you off this shot, so maybe just a slightly different line.
Nothing for line.
Playing different direction, as you said earlier, maybe just a little, maybe playing a slightly different weight on different sides, so obviously opting to keep that information.
Go with your feel.
Yeah.
Figure it out, teammate.
She seems to have done not too badly with his first shot, so.
Yeah, they seem to, I mean, they've played together a long time. They know each other. They know what kind of information is helpful and what kind of information is not.
Exactly.
So sometimes you got to rely on those skills and those instincts you have with each other. So good on you, Bruce.
19, but I think.
Oh, I think you might be telling her now, though.
Дай до конца.
It was 19, but I think just the pass.
Нормальный свип.
You just needed more.
Oh my gosh,
Вали,
Jude.
валить.
That's a great shot there from Anastasia. Even though she's bumped back her own blue, which you may think, oh, that's not so good because it's at the back of the 12 foot. They're really looking to try and score 2 or more here. And because Gina's shot was in such a good position with backing there, Anastasia's still not allowed to remove a stone from play. So just creating a bit more space by playing that bump back. The yellow's now in a much more vulnerable position. So that was a really great shot there. And Bruce and Gina have got to be careful here. They've gone 2 ahead in the game. Just want to limit the scoring here probably.
No.
And again trying to close down that scoring area. So watching the weights, keeping them top of the 4 foot.
Good.
That's a really nice control of rock. Stu's right in front of it. They're going to have to move it a bit.
Ошибка в гард.
Probably moved it just slightly more than Bruce would have been looking to do there.
Даже хорошо в гард.
Still pretty good.
Give you a little update over on sheet C.
Как?
Ты занутуриться хочешь или что? Занутуриться хочешь?
Нет, я не хочу занутриться. Ты там не занутришься. Стей, тейк, стей.
Тейк?
Да, тейк. Тейк. Да. Yes, хак. Хак. Тебе нужно стей обязательно.
With a score line
Лучше
of
гард снять. Ну, если идет там.
all standing in my way there. I can't quite see the scoreboard. Can you see it there, Jude?
No, I can't.
I believe it's 3-2 for
Желтый уйти.
Kiss and Planche.
Сверху остаться.
Leading there. Also lots of rocks in play. Back to our feature.
This is an important stone here, and if my interpretation of Russian is correct, I think they were trying to play a hack weight to make sure that the shooter stays around.
Давай, давай, до конца. Еще до конца. Свип.
Trying to move the stones around.
Move them
Keep
around.
all of the
Lovely shot again.
changes the angle on the front blue to yellow and leaves all 3 blue sitting in play.
Yep.
So not sitting shot rock at the moment, but that is quite irrelevant at this stage of the game.
So what you will tend to find in mixed doubles, just as we said earlier, is that if you're trying to score multiple score, then you really need to kind of open up the scoring area, which is exactly what Alexander and Anastasia have done here. Bruce and Gina are doing the opposite, trying to close down the scoring area, so he'll again be looking to just keep it nice and tight in there.
Nice weight.
Whoa.
I could go a little.
Bruce watching the line. Gina responsible for the weight.
Really nicely done.
Nice shot.
Keeps that blue one in behind so that doesn't make it as easy to remove the yellows.
знаю, может,
Yellows are on top of the blues. That's always a good sign when you're trying to force or
если нет, то так.
even steal.
Если вот так не
It's a
получается,
really nice
то
finish
вот
shot
так.
played by
Ну, прежде всего,
Krushelnitsky. Let's control weight.
I think they arrived out maybe a day early and had some practice here as well, Shari.
Yep, they came in yesterday,
он не будет бить, он будет цепать.
Wednesday night.
Он не дурак же бить.
Had some practice yesterday. I think that's something most teams, a lot of teams were down here yesterday throwing stones.
Это именно такой же, как сейчас.
That said, the ice was completely shaved afterwards, so
Ну, это сделать.
major maintenance after, so it's a little bit different than they all expected, maybe a little bit today. So
It was a nice speed today.
we had an ice crew out last night, working hard last night, trying to get the ice ready to go for the tournament.
47.
Валить!
Lots of volunteers and staff here and at the mixed doubles.
Давай, 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 давай!
Carlos assembled quite a crew. Drivers picking up everybody at the airport, transporting back and forth. There's really great teamwork happening around the rink. So
And again, a nice shot there from Anastasia.
and again, this is event number 9 on the Curling Champion Tour
Чуть-чуть еще можно было подотпустить?
this season.
Вот этот
There's
остался.
16 events.
А этот бы выше.
Armin Harder, our leader of the tour, is together with
Я уже не черт даже в конце.
lost the name in my head at the moment.
Еще он, да?
Has been busy creating up the mixed doubles. We also have a men's tour and a women's tour. You have a challenger series, a junior events, European junior curling tour, boys and girls. All events are under the window, under the umbrella of Curling Champions Tour. It's really great. This year we've added on Curling Zone, providing, assisting all the events with live scoring. And that's been a really great job. Jerry Gertz out of Canada, helping us set up that and get in partnership. There's been some new events created in Asia this year, in China, Shanghai. So lots of growth happening. Mixed doubles tour events in the United States and in Canada on the Champions Curling Tour. So lots of exciting, great things happening, and lots of hard work by Armin and his crew. So thanks for that.
Если так, то да.
I think we might just have our youngest viewer, Shari. I've just been sent a picture from my mum of my little boy who's 4 months old watching the game online.
And here and Mom. Hi, Glenn. Hugs and kisses for Mom here. It's probably hearing your voice and going, "Where's Mom? Where's Mom?"
Yep.
How are you combining that? Being a mom and curling and work all at the same time.
Well, it's quite nice to get a wee break sometimes.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Yeah. So, no, it's been good. We played in Bern in November, and my mum and dad have been great. So they travelled with us, and we had our little boy Glenn with us, and then we went away in December and left him at home, and that also worked great. So this was just a short trip across the pond this time. So he's at home this weekend.
It's like most curlers have family, friends, a lot of commitments, jobs at home. Takes a lot of time out of busy careers and family life. So of all those supporters, all those family friends at home supporting us, thank you very much for all your commitment to let your partners and grandmas and grandpas are helpful. For these teams to come and play, searching out their dreams, and you are not forgotten when we're away.
Yeah, probably makes it slightly easier, like in my position, when you are actually curling the team with your husband, or vice versa with your wife. Then it's slightly easier to manage that in terms of competing.
For Bruce and Gina, they're balancing also education at the same time. So it takes a lot of discipline, a lot of hard work. They're not only spending time on the tour, they're spending time practicing, training in the gym. And balancing very, very busy lives. So
yeah, and
curlers are top athletes.
Sometimes these events aren't always so easy either. Recently, our Scottish junior team that went out to the World Bees. You know, I think they flew on the 30th of December, so they missed New Year with their families and friends as they travelled out before the event started. So, you know, you have to weigh up. Sometimes you don't always, you can't get everything.
Obviously a good decision for them to travel over a little bit early. They definitely got the jump on all the other teams. They went 9-0 in the championships, winning the gold medal, qualifying themselves back to the World Championships in Pyeongchang, the test event for the Olympics. So congratulations, Sophie Jackson and team.
Yeah, they did
Scotland
really well.
for qualifying out of the Junior World B. Together with Turkey.
That's right.
And China women.
Yes.
Those three teams are qualified from the gym and women's from the World Junior B Championships. For the men's was China, Turkey and Italy. So Turkey really coming on.
Yeah, and from a country that only started curling
8 years ago?
Yep. I don't even know if it was it 2009 was it? Yeah, so it might even have been just 7 years.
So here we are, down to feature game. Let's get back to that here. Blue's getting some good rocks in play. Yellow is sitting shot rock, I think.
You can see Gina and Bruce standing there at the back, very relaxed. They've got as you said before, they've curled together for so long, they're very much at ease with each other.
They're both really great personalities, so
yeah,
that's certainly...
it would be really nice for us not to like them, but they're really just nice pairing.
I think they probably say the same thing about you, Jude.
Certainly a lot of very, very good shots here in this game.
Oh. A little bit of bump on that.
Oh.
One blue.
Just one blue.
Moved that yellow enough for it not to be shot stone, so did accomplish something from that shot. Those guards kind of got in the way. They couldn't just nail that out of there. So good strategy by Bruce and Gina to get some rocks in play and keep the scoring zone, as you said earlier, small. Russia forced to just 1 point here.
And again, Bruce and Gina, will they opt to use the power play, or are they going to stick with the centre? We'll just have a little look here. I think they might be opting for the power play here. It's quite a good time to have it in the 6th end. If they can take the power play just now and score, and they're already 5-4 up, if they can guarantee a score in the 6th end and limit the scoring, or even get steal, even if they can limit them in the 7th,
yep,
then they'd have the hammer going down the last end.
So the power play is new this year and newly introduced, and only the team with the hammer can call the power play.
That's right. And this first shot is really crucial. It'll be interesting to see what shot Alexander and Anastasia select here when the score is so tight. Sometimes with the power play, if you need to steal, you might see the team playing a centre guard here. Not sure if they're going for centre guard here or if they're coming into the top of the house. Centre guard, I think, is what they're looking for. Of course, Bruce and Gina can't do anything with that blue. Well, they could move it, but they can't move it from play at the moment.
That's a pretty nice control shot, actually.
Right on the centre line.
Can come up short in the house, but then they're going to have to try and get one into the scoring zone. This gives them some options. It's an interesting strategy. I think a lot of teams are still exploring what strategy to play with this situation. It's only been in play for a year, so
I think it also depends how the ice is as well. Very much.
They have the choice whether they put the in-turn side or the out-turn side. So they've selected this side.
Okay, lines a little bit.
played a little more, few more shots on this side of the sheet, so have a little more idea how to get around it.
Line's good. Line's big. Line's big.
Gina saying that the line's big here, plenty of room to get around the guard, so maybe even come past the yellow and sit at the back. This is well called by Gina. And now Anastasia and Alex looking to draw around that corner and freeze onto the placed yellow stone. You would imagine that if Bruce and Gina score in this end, then Anastasia and Alex will likely opt to use their power play in the next end. So really, I would think that Anastasia and Alex are probably looking to, rather than stealing, they are probably more focused on making sure that they don't lose more than one. They'd probably be quite happy to lose one and then try to score 2 or more using the power play in the next end. Again, looks like the line is a little bit high here. It's not quite finishing the way Anastasia would like it to. That blue, although there's still that yellow at the back, so not the easiest. It's still lying in shot position, but not quite where they were looking for it to be.
Ты сказала да. Все, мы начали тереть. Я тоже думал, что мало веса. Центр 4.16, 26 гард. Сюда хорошо. Все просто.
So on sheet A, the score is 5-2 for, sorry, 6-2 for Noreen over Nadelman. Currently playing the 5th end. And on sheet C is Planska and Kiss. 5-3 currently over Riza and Riza from Latvia. They're in their 6th end. Our current game here, we're playing N6.
Weights up. Yep. Solid hack.
Yep. Whoa.
Bruce and Gina are up 5-4.
Weights up.
Again,
with the hammer?
Yeah, maybe just Bruce and Gina maybe struggling a little bit with this line here, just taking a little bit too much ice. And
it's a pretty nice
shot. They were really just making sure that they were getting the
inside roll
inside there.
Called that really nicely. It was really nice way to get the curl.
Alexander and Anastasia have to really be quite careful here.
Okay, they got a little dance going on, so not only working on the curling skills, working on the dancing skills.
Here we have Anastasia trying to play that freeze onto the yellow. Again, looks like it certainly doesn't need anything for line. Looks like it might be a little bit speedy as well.
Bruce has also slowed down here at the back. Tuck in a little.
Yep. Okay.
They're going to have to do something with it. It is sitting shot stone, but it's a little bit too warm for that, for what they wanted to execute there. The call was just to freeze up on those yellows, I think. Both of these teams have quite a bit of support funding from their associations, so lots of curling associations are really starting to get behind the mixed doubles discipline now that it's an Olympic sport, which is really great to see. Seeing some
and
growth
it's only,
and
well, it's just over a year away now till the Olympic Games. Really exciting for mixed doubles.
Up in your last one.
Yeah, so
and it'll be really exciting to see how television coverage maybe impacts on the format of the game, because even at this stage I think some of the more established curling nations haven't found mixed doubles to really have taken off yet. It would be interesting to see next year if television coverage around mixed doubles really advances the format of the game.
So, yeah, Bruce didn't move that, but he did tap it out enough that they're still sitting 3 stones in play.
Точно? Окей.
Yeah. I think I'd rather be in Bruce and Gina's position at the moment. They really have to get a saving stone in here. So Anastasia now going for, I think this is her 3rd attempt at the same. Oh, no. She's coming around the outside this time, is she? She's coming around to try and draw, is she? Or is she maybe going for the tap here?
She was playing to come around guard, play up to that back yellow one, but looks like it's going to overcurl here on her.
Разведи пошире.
I think that one could maybe have been.
She's
I mean,
making
it was
it
a
work
little
pretty
bit,
hard today.
It was a little bit maybe soft of weight, but
Что с тобой происходит?
it was a sort of in-between shot rather than coming round. It wasn't going to come round. Maybe we would have looked for the straight tap, but it didn't quite have enough weight for that either.
Yeah.
So
They got as much out of that shot as they were going to get, Jude. They did punch the one up for second stone.
What's he doing?
Вот эти лайны
So
кинул.
they're definitely getting some fitness exercise out there tonight.
Bruce and Gina discussing
I get that.
what is Alex going to do with his last shot
Do you think?
if they remove
Just
the
hold it,
blue.
let yourself keep on going.
Я кидала, как обычно, как всегда
They have some
кидаю.
options here.
Только вот этот камень.
Just draw in, come around it all, and
Even if I...
В
Sorry.
этом вся и разница.
leave Russia to figure out an angle.
And on sheet A, we've got Camilla and Per Noreen currently tied in the game with Marianne and Mark.
Control.
Nice little fight back there from Mark and Marianne.
Еще сколько будем отдавать?
So it's just going to hit the nose of this, and even better.
Oh,
Moves it out of play,
rub off
rolls.
the top.
Nice shot by Bruce. It's now sitting
So
4.
And if Alex doesn't get a saving shot in here, Bruce and Gina could potentially have a shot for 5.
Серьезно хочешь бить?
Пауэр был суперским. А что мне делать? Ну-ка.
Слушай, ты что
They decide which one they want to freeze on, where they can get the best line. The weight has been quite difficult from side to side, and different lines seem to be running different speed.
Через вот этот свой.
A few shots have caught them off guard, and they've left them up a little bit short, so
Пойдем
it's
посмотрим.
not an
We
easy draw
also
to play here.
saw Anastasia really struggling with that line in this end, just to get round and frozen onto the placed stone. And I think that's sometimes what can happen. You know, the power play, each team can only use it once in each game.
Yeah.
So you've been used to playing
And the
from the
tracks are all
outside
down the middle.
in, and then all of a sudden it's just, you know, what is the ice? Where
What is
should
the
we be
weight?
taking it? What is the
Yeah.
weight? And a couple of shots there, that was all. It was just slightly high. And
I think that's probably an advantage you have in a partnership like Bruce and Gina. They're both skips. They both skip their teams, so they were watching a lot of stones in the house. They're making those assessments by different releases, different ways stones run. That's maybe an added skill to have for sure.
Можно ударить дабл.
Какой? Какой дабл?
Желтый.
Так?
I think Alex was just having a little look at the scoreboard there and how many ends do we have left, because all these factors need to be, of course, be taken into consideration when you're selecting the shot.
Так тоже очень маловероятно. Чуть-чуть я
Ой.
хоть попадаю, но входит.
What's worst case scenario almost?
They're going to have to make a perfect freeze or hit and roll here as an option.
If he gets the jam, then we're struggling to get to.
Anastasia looking at
Run
top blue.
У тебя очень маленькая
Yeah, but
ошибка.
when
не
he's
практически
jamming.
нет.
Also play the outside, the yellow one on the far right, hit roll behind that blue. Get in there for shot stone. Bruce has got to play both. Gina.
Try it. Yeah.
Вообще предмет.
Hopefully it's just
They weren't successful playing a come around the only guard that's out there, so on the right.
And you have a draw for 4.
We're wishing things here.
Bruce and Gina already discussing their options, what they're going to have to be looking at. They're getting prepared for the mindset, heading into the next shot.
Number 6 across the house.
I can't see numbers from here.
It's a very quick game, mixed doubles, and you're constantly having to think on your
I'll tell you what to sweep.
think on your feet.
Just like
Whoa. Whoa.
In championships, you're always playing with a time clock,
Чуть,
so
whoa,
really got to pay attention.
Подвали чуть-чуть.
This one.
Oh, nice. Oh, they managed to remove 2 of
very
those
nice
yellows,
shot.
but they've left
Unfortunately, rolled out of
2
shooter, which is really
yellows
unfortunate.
line shots. So
Draw for 3.
Bruce and Gina have a pretty open
Валит он и все, блядь.
draw for 3,
И идет прямо.
which would, assuming they get that, would take them 8-4 ahead. And then for sure we'll see Alexander and, well, irrelevant of whether it's a 2 or a 3 scored here, I think we'll see the power play being used in the 7th end.
And see how they can manage it. Definitely serve to Bruce and Gina's advantage here. Got that set up really nicely. Getting those draws in behind is really key.
normal. A little bit out, so make sure.
And Bruce really working this stone hard there. Gina coming to join him.
I think it looks pretty good here. A little scrub, a little
I don't
tween.
think they're worried about it being heavy anyway. Yeah, it's all under control.
Nice shot.
Nice
To the
shot.
forefoot. Well done. It's a score of 3 for Aitken-Mouat. It'll take them up to 8-4. 4 up, playing 7.
And the other teams in this section, along with Bruce and Gina and Alexander and Anastasia, are also the Fowlers from England, Mulder and Leal from Estonia, and the Turtle pairing from Finland.
Chop.
Oh, in their group.
Yeah.
3 seconds.
Good job, Jude. You're in the groups.
A bit more. Be positive too. 3 seconds. Positive.
All of these teams, a lot of these teams are vying to qualify for their countries to play in the Worlds. Worlds are being held this year. World Curling Organization
Wait there.
hosts Worlds this year in Lethbridge, Alberta. First time mixed doubles has been in Canada, I believe.
No,
Was there one already?
it was at Fredericton.
Fredericton was also in Canada.
Yeah.
So second time to be hosted in Canada. So really exciting. Going to the great big curling belt in
Yeah.
Good.
nothing like playing in Alberta. Lots of fans, lots of people out to watch and cheer. Really knowledgeable crowds. So these guys will have the opportunity to play in a nice big arena. Great facilities in Lethbridge. At that championship, they will qualify. Top 12 teams will get Olympic points. Those points are added to the points that were made last year at the World Championships in Sochi.
Нормально, это отлично.
In Sweden last year.
Sorry, in Sweden last year,
Yep.
Karlstad. Those points get added up,
Блин, посмотри.
and the top 8 teams from that, the accumulated points, will qualify for the Olympic Championships.
It's not easy with last year 42 teams playing in the World Championships.
Yep.
I don't know if it's been determined just exactly how many teams will be playing in the
potentially be
2017, but it could be. Obviously, you can't play, well, they could, but it would take a long time to play for all the countries to play each other. So it's split into sections at the moment and will remain that way
There's 6
for this year,
pools
certainly.
of 7 as well, right?
That was last
year's.
year's. What will be, I guess it'll depend on the number of teams this year.
World Curling Federation has 53 member nations now, so potentially you can have 53 countries competing.
Sure. I think after this year, after the 2017 World Mixed Doubles Championships, we'll likely see something changing
To an A, a B, similar to men's and women's.
Yeah.
9-10.
It's just too
But
hard
at the
to
moment,
host such a big an event.
until you've actually ranked the teams for the Olympics, you have to give every country a fair chance.
Yeah.
And this is the fairest format at the moment.
And for some of these teams, this Worlds will be extremely important. Two-time world champions Plaska and Kiss actually didn't qualify any Olympic points last year, which was quite a big surprise. It was maybe the biggest surprise of the event.
Probably
they'll be really vying to get their points in this year.
Switzerland are another one that didn't score any points in the last championship.
No.
And Sweden as well.
Yeah.
So all these three countries, Hungary, Switzerland and Sweden, have actually been doing really well with mixed doubles since the World Championship started, and would have been expected, I guess, to be one of the top 8 teams. So all three of these countries.
Spain also a medalist the year before.
Yeah, to get some points.
Yeah. So countries currently with points, we have Russia in first place with 14. This is for the Olympic qualifications. China, USA, Scotland, Canada, Estonia, Finland. England has qualification points. That has to be kind of sorted out between Scotland, Wales. They play as Team GB.
That's right.
At Olympics. Norway, Slovakia, Austria, and Ireland are all teams currently with Olympic points. We'll be sending teams to the Worlds in Lethbridge, hoping to fight for their spots.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting one with Scotland and England. Obviously, both gaining points there at for the Olympic qualification. Scotland is the points carrier for Great Britain at the moment. Just watching our shot there, nice shot from Rose.
And their objective is to clean off the front here, so they're wanting to make sure the scoring zone stays open and clean and simple as possible. So running that stone back, getting something off, and
scoring. As I was saying, that Ben and Anna Fowler did well at the Worlds this year. Essentially, Scotland are the points carrier. But if Scotland gained enough points at this upcoming World Championships for Great Britain to qualify, it could be a team from Scotland or England or Wales or a combination, essentially, representing Great Britain at the Olympic Games. Back to our feature game here, Anastasia in the stone, Alexander again.
Sweeping hard.
Sweeping hard.
I'll be looking for a midnight snack. Nice throw there.
Bruce and Gino should be able to see all of that blue stone and just looking to make sure, they'll be looking for the double, but just really making sure they at least hit and remove one of those stones.
Yeah.
As you can see, Gina saying, just remove them both. Simple as that. Tactically, both of these teams don't need to take too much time to decide what shot to play. They've played so much mixed doubles, it kind of comes naturally, I think, most of the time to them. Bruce executing this shot pretty well.
Even sticks on the rings there. That'll be a nice bonus.
And Russia really to stay in the game here without them having the last stone in the last end. We're assuming if they score here, they need to be scoring
a couple
at least
sure.
2. You just never know in mixed doubles.
Конец дома.
Какой конец дома?
Ну, зайти в смысле?
Вот, это, блин, переверни дом, ё-моё, вот сюда тебе надо привезти.
Just discussing where exactly they want this stone to finish.
Они будут ролл делать от того.
They've chosen to split the house here, so there's no possibility or less possibility to play a double. So they've accepted the fact that they're going to score 2.
Behind the guard now they're on.
Score 2 and go for a steal or 2. Go for an extra.
Anything can happen. It's curling.
So they want to keep these pretty level if they can.
It's a nice shot. I don't think Bruce is going to consider even playing a double here. He's just going to hit and stay and accept the fact that they're going to score 2. And
I think Bruce and Gina will be quite happy to give up a 2 here and be going down the 8th end of this game with hammer and 2 up.
Extra camera out on the ice this game. Joey Brunsma, our cameraman out there live on the ice, giving you close-up views like this one.
Nice beat.
Clean.
Yeah, over on sheet C, it's 5 each at the moment between Schultz and Dory from Hungary and Ansis and Datsi from Latvia.
I nearly slipped.
I saw.
Yeah.
A little update on that. Hungary just stole 1. Gone up 6-5 now.
Yep. So last end of this game. Latvia with the hammer.
So Bruce rolled a little there, a little more than he hoped to. So it's a draw for 2 here for Russia.
Yes.
Need to make sure of their 2 here.
Да. О, легче. Легко просто.
Alexander's obviously not too worried about it. He's not rushing in to
Легко
help.
просто.
Quite happy with it.
Keeping it clean. Make sure it doesn't fudge or catch a spot. That's a really nice draw
Really
shot.
nice.
We've struggled a little bit with draw weight in this game, so that's really
Yeah.
nice to see. The end of the game, they've got it. They'll take that also forward to their next game.
And the format for this competition, we see Bruce Mouat and Gina Aitken leading the game by 8 shots to 6, going into the 8th end of the game with last stone advantage. If Russia managed to steal 2, we would see an extra end being played. So no draws, no peeled games in this competition.
Так, ну что, давай 2 хороших. Брыза.
So we see Alexander getting ready here to play the first stone.
And just like
Okay.
regular curling, if you score in an end, you relinquish the hammer to your opponent, and you lose it for the following end. One of the similarities of regular curling, for those that don't watch this game very often.
Да, линия.
Probably the slight difference with mixed doubles is you could actually essentially choose.
Yep.
If you could opt to place the stones the other way around and not have a stone advantage, but I don't think I've seen that happening for a long while. I think the first couple of years that mixed doubles was played, teams weren't very sure sometimes whether it might be more to your advantage to play the first stone of the end and have that little bit of backing, but now I think teams have got a lot better at mixed doubles as well. And, you always see teams opting for the last stone advantage.
Came up a little bit short again, over-curled it in that line.
Should be fine.
The line has caught them a few times. They're a little bit, getting that release going a little bit. The ice isn't very forgiving in some spots. Gina Aitken, Scotland. Their partner,
Wait only. Whoa.
Bruce Mouat.
Тэпать, открывать. Подвозы нам надо. Даже тэп вот этого в
Coach
26-й
David
гад.
Aiken here behind the glass, recording the game, making notes. They'll go back and review what they did well and what they might want to fix up for the next one. These two teams will definitely be meeting again throughout the season, so preparing all they can from each other.
Gina won't be too pleased with that one. She struggled a little bit down that line earlier on. The last one I think she played down there was a little bit short. And that one was just a little bit heavy there. Russia obviously needing to steal a minimum of 2 here. So there's a couple of guards in play.
And a
couple of Scotland's stones behind the T line. So really those are both things that would go to Russia's favour at the moment. Even although at first glance at it you think, oh, the lower line 2 shots.
Just one of them. Just one. I don't like it.
I think we will see Gina and Bruce trying to rip the guards off probably as with their next shot.
If you're just joining onto our YouTube live feed here, wanting to see or catch information on other games on sheet A and C here, you're welcome to log into curling Dutch Masters curling.nl. Follow all the live scores from all of the games in play and catch up on results from previous games. See the lineup that's coming up tomorrow. One more draw to go this evening. You're on the ice tonight, Jude?
Yes. A late game, 10 o'clock.
Better than 8 a.m.
It's only 9 o'clock UK time, so
I don't mind that because
not too bad. And since having a baby, I don't really know what time of day it is anyway, so
what do you
it's
like?
fine.
Let's hope he's in bed by the time you play.
I don't feel like we should not be hitting.
Yeah.
Just do the single then.
Yeah, no, but then this is giving them the draw here. I don't like that.
So here they're not talking necessarily about what they're going to do for themselves. It's what they want to eliminate also for their opponents. So sometimes that's a strategy you play.
Okay. Would you rather do the draw?
I would rather do that.
The draw?
No, that.
Would you rather do that than the draw?
Yeah, nice little view of the coaches up behind the bench there.
I think
the sheet.
what Gina was discussing was, as we look at the screen, taking off the blue on the left-hand side. And Bruce wasn't so keen on that because he was saying that if he just took that single off, it could leave Russia with a draw around the other two.
With more better backing, yeah.
So he's preferring to play, to take the guard, as we can see it on the right-hand side of the screen.
Not really.
Try and lift the two.
It sounded like Bruce isn't really happy to be throwing any of these shots. So. Not really.
Hit it on the right-hand side.
I think they kind of got to just choose which side and make sure that they have a draw for their last stone on the 4-foot and make sure one side stays open. At the moment, both sides of the 4-foot are a little blocked. So they want to make sure that one side of that pin is available. So
the problem in mixed doubles is even though Bruce and Gina are 2 shots up, a couple of one shot missed maybe from them and a shot taken by Russia, and all of a sudden the game
that's
can
a brilliant,
change around.
Brilliant shot.
But we're not probably going to see that here because that was a great shot from Bruce.
Yeah,
great shot.
Finally, some applause from the crowd back here. Excellent. Crowds in the game. Probably some cheers at home watching the game as well. Bruce's teammates are probably tuned in. Skipper just made a good one there, guys. When you're Russian and really wanting to get something going, you get those stones up there, and then all of a sudden they're all gone. It's kind of deflating. To really stay focused, mindset's really important. Communication's really important in this game.
Well, Alexander really has swept just about every stone, I think, in this game. He's given up, I think.
Почему нельзя подержать?
feel the guard, that's alright.
And Bruce quite rightly saying if he's probably going to go for the shot here, and if he caught the guard, it's also good.
The Russia team here is actually a real couple, so I'm sure there's going to be some punishment for all the work that happened tonight. So.
Он бы больше откатился под гарда потом.
Take a little bit of space. Throw, go back and get ready.
Yeah.
Clean.
You can mutter under your breath without your teammate hearing. Nice stone from Bruce.
Removes the stone in play.
Removes that, makes it really, really difficult for Russia to
get much happening
steal.
here. Yeah.
They've really got to play a freeze here and hope that Bruce and Gina jam, make some mistakes.
За гард везем, если что.
Что?
За гард нужно вести сейчас.
Сильно?
Сильно.
And this one looking a little bit speedy. And Alexander not too happy with that. It's left it right out in the open, even though it's lying shot position. Just a straightforward.
I think one was thinking a freeze, one was thinking a come around, so I don't think their strategy was really clear, and that's a little bit of the frustration that happens at the end of a game. You got to really stay focused to make it happen right to the end.
Are you just rolling out?
Tough for teams to do that.
Just rolling out.
You can see Alexander and Anastasia here. Yep. The crossed arms are a giveaway sometimes.
Body language in the game of curling is that's
I hope my husband is
Control.
watching this too.
Clean. Watch the hat.
Lessons for Lee. Lee, that's a note for you when you watch this game back tomorrow, because that's going to be on your agenda.
Thanks for getting.
So, the blue one is moved for play. That's the last one. That'll be a final score of 8-6 for Aitken-Mouat. Bruce waves a little goodbye to the fans at home. Thanks, guys, for coming out to watch. It's the Dutch Masters mixed doubles tournament here in Curlingbaan Zoetermeer in the Netherlands.
I waved to the camera.
Judith
Thank
McCleary,
you.
thank you very much for joining me on the
Thank you.
broadcast
It's
tonight.
been good fun.
Yeah. Wish you and Lee a good game. Take
Thank
some
you.
of those dynamics and those lessons that you got to observe and comment on. Take those with you on the next game, and wish you great success this weekend. Have fun with it.
Thank you.
For those of you wanting to follow the next game, you can follow that on the live updating on the website. Tomorrow, you can join us 10 a.m. is our first morning feature game. Yagi and Freiberger from Switzerland versus two-time world champion Palanska and Kiss from Hungary. 10 a.m. live here from Curlingbaan Zoetermeer in the Netherlands. Dutch Masters. Join us. We'll see you tomorrow.